Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna have a quick video. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to Dan TV. I'm not Dan, by the way. That's just what the channel is called. And Dan stands for Deeper Image Automotive Network. And that's because we have a bunch of different things going on. But anyhow, you'll find all sorts of cool stuff like mods on the Jeep, on the Viper. We've got a C8 on order and a couple other things that we're working on. Today I'm repping the 305. Miami. I actually live in Atlanta, but I'm from Miami originally. So anyhow, figure we throw in the flat bill hat just for a little bit of fun today. So don't make too much fun of me. So anyhow, today we've got a very easy install. As you guys know, getting content has been somewhat challenging with everything being on lockdown because of the situation, everything that's going on. We can't access many places, and I want to make sure I'm following the law to the T. I'm not breaking any rules or anything like that because we want to help during this time of need, not make things matter or worse, or make things worse, I should say. We've got parts on order for the Jeep, some parts on order for the Viper, but unfortunately with shipping and all the other things that are taking priority over car parts and modding, we haven't received some of that stuff. We had a bumper, a winch, a couple other things on order. Those are going to be delayed for probably another month. Same thing with some of the things that we order for the Viper. So anyhow, we'll make what we can here in the garage. Why am I wearing glasses in the garage? I have no idea, just probably because it's easier. I did shave, so now you can see my double chin a little bit better. Not that you couldn't before, but anyhow, so what are we going to be installing on the Jeep today? Again, if you don't follow us, give us a follow. We've got some content coming up. So here it is. Let's open the door and show you one of the things that don't come standard on a Jeep. So as you can see, this is bare bones. Even though this is a Sahara, which is not the top of the line by any means, this is in between the Rubicon and the Sport S. You know, it's a trim in between those two, Rubicon being the top of the line with the best all-wheel drive system, and of course this being pretty much the same with the Sport S. But as far as the trim, the features that you can get, the Sahara does offer a couple of upgrades, like the finishes on the inside, the dual climate control, the screen itself. Although a lot of these are optional and you can add them on, the Sahara will give you some of these included. However, one thing you don't get is any sort of protection for your door sills. That is just bare paint. So every time, as you can see, that you're stepping in and out, you're gonna be putting scratches on there, especially when you're off-roading. You can see the floor mats, even though I try to clean this thing as often as possible. We've got some medical gloves in there, of course, that we need to throw away. And we've got mud from when we've been off-roading on this thing. So all those things will create scratches on the paint. So what are we gonna do about that? So of course we turn to Amazon as always when there's nothing else going on. And I actually ordered these a long time ago, so don't judge me, please. These have probably been sitting in the garage for quite some time. So anyhow, we ordered these bad boys right here, which are just little door sill plastic protectors. There's 4 of them, 2 for the front, 2 for the back, just to add a little extra protection and keep that paint looking as nice as possible, as often as we can. It still doesn't cover the whole door, as you can see, but it will add a little bit of protection in there. It doesn't affect the way the door closes or anything like that. I think it actually makes a little bit nicer seal. I don't think it impacts the seal very much because the seal seems to be a little bit above that. So what we're gonna do is install these. Got to prep the surface first, and then they're pretty basic. It just comes with 3M strips, which hopefully will hold up to dirt, mud, water, all the things that go on when you're going off-roading. I picked the ones that say Wrangler. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's a little dark in here because we're in the garage. There's a lot of noise outside, so I had to close the door. With everybody being home, as you can imagine, people are walking about, riding bikes, riding motorcycles, all sorts of stuff, even though they should be staying inside. But anyhow. So we're gonna go ahead and prep the surface. We're gonna go ahead and install these. You can get these on Amazon. I'll put the link in the comments below. There's, like I said, many different options. These say Wrangler on there. There were some that said Rubicon. If you've got a Rubicon, some of them said off-road, things like that. So there's a ton of options out there. The install's pretty simple. You're gonna clean and prep the surface, and then all you have to do is peel the strips, put these down on there, and there is an alignment that you have to do to make sure, A, it doesn't affect the door, and that it also doesn't sit too far back where it won't offer the proper protection for when you're getting in and out of the vehicle. So let me show you what that looks like. All right, so as you can see, so some of these that you order will actually have a little arrow that shows you where to line up with this right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to, I don't know, I'm thinking that maybe all the way forward might be okay, but then I see a little gap right here, so I may need to come back just a hair. And the ones that I ordered did not have the arrow markings on there to tell me where to align. So I may leave a little bit of a gap right there, although I'm kind of tempted to go all the way forward, but when I do that, it doesn't seem to align here very well. It creates a gap. So if I back off a little bit, even just a ½ inch or about an inch right there, it seems to line up a little bit better. So I'm gonna do that. There's also a marking on here that tells you in the back, at least with the ones that I've got here, it'll say, and again, this is probably gonna be hard to read, but it'll tell you sill plate front left, and there'll be a front right, of course, which is the one I've got on there already. For the rear doors, these are actually really tiny. Yes, we got some dog food still sitting in here for the puppies. And the ones in the back is actually really funny because I thought they didn't send me any. At first, I'm like, well, they must think that I ordered for the 2-door. But actually, let me show you what those look like here. And I apologize for the mess that I've got going on. But it's been tough to try to get to the trash is only collecting the essentials. But here you can see how much smaller these are compared to the other ones. That's because the door openings, as you can see, the front is much bigger than the rear. The rear is really small, but I just thought this was actually pretty funny how much smaller this one is than the rear. So just for comparison purposes, here we go. So you can see big difference there, and it will overlap that gap. It's okay as long as you hold it in there firmly. If you try to go back too far, it'll create a big gap. So you really have to be around here somewhere. So just make sure you first select the correct ones. Again, these are marked for right, left, front left, rear left, etc. So this one's right sill plate, rear right. So this is the correct one for over here. So again, when you compare that to the front, big difference as far as the size in the two of them. So anyhow, let me clean and prep the surfaces and we'll install this real quick. All right, so we've got the surface nice and clean. I used some Adams Polishes alcohol formula. It is hand sanitizer, but it's actually got 75% isopropyl in there. So it does clean really nice. As you can see, all that grime and dirt is out of there. So I've peeled the strips. There's multiple ways you can do this. Some people like to start just by doing a little bit. And after they move back, you know, as you're moving back, they like to peel the strip from underneath. I've had a hard time with those doing that sometimes, so I'm just gonna try the best way that I know how, which is put this on there. If I mess up by some wild chance here, you can buy these 3M strips. It's pretty inexpensive tape and you can just, you know, reattempt it. So anyhow, let me put the phone down for a second so I can get proper alignment. Like I said, I think I'm gonna go about a ½ inch forward of that marking right there, so it'll still overlap this gap over here, but that's what I've seen from most of the instructional videos. Seems to work pretty good. All right, there it is. It was pretty straightforward. Like I said, I left about a well, finger worth right there in between this bracket right here and this. That seemed to be the best alignment for the backing plate right there. So again, make sure you do have the correct one because I think there's a slight little curve that matches the frame of the vehicle. So that's it. And then what I did is I took my rag and just kind of press down on here as hard as I can. So I actually stood on it to make sure that that tape is on there. And then the final piece is to make sure the door closes. Boom, there it is. So anyhow, let's go ahead and do the other sides and I'll show you what the final product looks like. As far as the install goes, I think the other side came out a little bit better than this one. I couldn't get as close as possible as I wanted to on this side, but I think it looks so much better. Sorry that it's all dirty in here, but you get the idea. So door closes no problem. We got the fronts installed, we got the rear installed as well. And I think it looks a little bit nicer. But anyhow, if I regret it, if I hate them, they're like 20 bucks. So you can always take them off, throw them away, or just get different ones. There's metal ones, there's shinier ones, there's ones that have the lettering painted, which I thought looked kind of cool, but anyhow, I figure I'd try these out. Well, and that's pretty much gonna be all we have for this video. I'm hoping we get that front bumper and hoping we get the winch in so that we can do that install, something we've been looking forward to doing. So we went with, in case you're wondering, we went with the Smittybilt Striker, which is a newer bumper. One of the things I was looking for is I really wanted the bumper to look OEM, to look like it kind of came from Jeep or came with the Jeep from the factory that way. And I really liked the Smittybilt Striker. I know you guys are probably gonna debate quality and there's, you know, for every pro, there's a con, and pretty much with any brand. So everything that I've read from talking to shop owners at off-road places have all said that the quality has really stepped up. They really recommend it, really liked it. They could just be dealers for them, who knows? But anyhow, I'll let you guys know. Hopefully we get those in soon so we can do another video on upgrading the front bumper and adding a winch. We also went with I think it's a Gen 3. I'm trying to remember what model number it was, but it's the Gen 3 Smitty build, 12,000 pound synthetic rope. Yeah, that's it. I don't remember the exact model number, but that's the one. So it's a 12,000 pound Gen 3 Smitty build, and it's got some cool stuff, including some lighting on there. So anyhow, we'll see how that all goes. I don't know when it'll come in, but hopefully it'll be soon so that we can get better videos for you guys uploaded. Anyhow, until then, thanks for watching. Follow us if you don't already. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.